What would you do if one mistake destroyed everything you dreamed of? This is the true story of Adebimpe and the night her life changed forever.
Episode 1. The Fall of Adebimpe. Adebimpe was born in a quiet village where everything moved slowly, where the biggest events were Sunday services and the arrival of the bread seller from town. She was the kind of girl people whispered about, not because she misbehaved, but because she was too brilliant for the life she was born into. At 15, her mind was already far beyond the village. While other girls braided each other's hair or fetched water, Adebimpe read old science books discarded by the secondary school librarian. Her dream was clear: become a nurse, save lives, escape poverty. But dreams are fragile things, especially for girls like her. His name was Dapo. He came from the city with jeans too clean for the village dust and a tongue as smooth as warm honey. He said he worked with a building company in Lagos and was only in town for a cousin's wedding. The first time he spoke to her, it was under the shade of a breadfruit tree. She was on her way from school, her exercise book pressed to her chest like a treasure. He smiled, complimented her handwriting he had somehow seen through the book, and walked away before she could respond. That was how it began. In the days that followed, he showed up often, offering her snacks, airtime, and promises. "You deserve better," he said one day. "I'll sponsor your education. You're smart, Adebimpe. You don't belong here." No one had ever called her smart out loud before, not even her parents. She believed him. Why wouldn't she? Then came the mistake. A single moment that would undo every line in the script she had written for her life. The night it happened, she cried immediately after. Dapo had held her, kissed her forehead, and said, "It's just between us. You'll be fine." She wasn't fine. 3 weeks later, she missed her period. 6 weeks later, her breasts became sore. 8 weeks in, her stomach began to swell. Small, but unmistakably. When she finally confessed, her mother fell to her knees in shock. Her father didn't speak. He walked outside, then returned with a thick leather belt. He didn't ask for names. He didn't care. He beat her until her arms bruised and her lip cracked. Her mother watched from a corner, too stunned or too ashamed to interfere. That night, they threw her out with only a wrapper, her school uniform, and the torn bag she used to carry books. She stood under the moonlight, belly trembling, the gravel cold beneath her bare feet. She knocked on her aunt's door. No answer. She tried a neighbor. "Don't bring shame here," they hissed. So she walked. She didn't know where she was going. The only thing louder than the sound of her slippers on the dusty path was the voice in her head screaming, "Your life is over! Your life is over!" She slept under a mechanic shed that first night, the smell of oil stinging her nostrils. Dogs barked nearby and rats scurried close to her feet. She didn't cry. There were no more tears. By morning, she found a rickety bus heading to a nearby town. She had 170 nairas in her wrapper, enough for transport. Maybe things would be better there. They weren't. The new town didn't know her, which was good, but it also didn't care about her, which was worse. For days, she wandered markets, begging for leftover food, drinking rainwater from her cupped hands. When her belly became too big to hide, some traders began calling her that disgrace girl. A kind old woman who sold yam by the roadside let her sleep behind her kiosk. It wasn't safe, but it was something. Nights were the worst. the pain in her back, the kicks from the baby, the haunting silence. She would sometimes whisper to her unborn child, "I don't know if we'll make it, but I'll try. I'll try." Her body grew thinner while her belly grew larger. Then one evening, while walking to beg for food, she felt the sharp pain shoot across her belly. It was like something tearing inside her. She collapsed by the roadside. No one stopped. A mad woman, Mama Bisi they called her, approached. Her hair was wild, her clothes dirty, her eyes clouded, but her heart was the only thing that noticed Adebimpe's pain. She helped her up, murmured in broken speech, and led her to an abandoned hut near a bush path. That night, under a leaking zinc roof, in the company of a woman the world had written off, Adebimpe gave birth. No doctors, no drugs, no certainty. Just pain. Screaming. Blood. Darkness. And then, a cry. A soft cry. Weak, yet alive. Adebimpe stared at the baby boy in her arms, his tiny fingers curled, his eyes shut tight, his skin pale but breathing. She whispered through tears, "Your name is Adebayo, the one who brings joy. Even if the world gives me nothing, I will raise you to be everything." Mama Bisi tied the umbilical cord with a piece of nylon and walked off humming a hymn. That night, Adebimpe didn't sleep. She stared at the child, chest rising and falling, and said over and over, "We will survive. I don't know how, but we will." Someone's coming. The footsteps are in quick successions. Fear gripped Adebimpe, having no one to defend her, and being too weak to defend herself and her treasure. Her heartbeat raced. Who can it be? A friend or an attacker? If you have followed Adebimpe this far, you're part of her journey now. Don't miss what happens next. Click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any fragment of her journey. Her fight for survival has just begun. Will the world be kind to her afterwards? Find out in episode 2, right here.